the Steelers. I will, by the way, in 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I will have my final mock draft. This is not what I would do. This is what I believe happens in the first round of the draft, first 15 picks. So 45 minutes from now, my prediction on what I think the first 15 picks will look like. So this is a very, very weak draft. So if Shedeur Sanders is falling in the draft, it's pretty obvious that Shedeur Sanders is not lighting the world up. There's also T-Mac, the receiver out of Arizona, I am told, is also falling in the draft for separate reasons. But here's my thing about Shedeur sliding to Pittsburgh. I would rather go to Pittsburgh at 21 than Cleveland or the Giants with a second or third pick. I really would. Ownership stability, roster composition, and a patient franchise. The Steelers have DK Metcalf. They'll trade the other receiver. They have a very good tight end. Arthur Smith, more than capable at OC. It's a very good roster. I'd rather go there. Dan Marino fell in the draft to Hall of Fame coach Don Shula. Do you realize that the Jets could have picked him with Joe Walton as a head coach earlier? Do you think he would have ended up having Dan Marino's career? Patrick Mahomes went 10th. That year, if he would have gone second, he would have gone to the Chicago Bears. Andy Reid was not coaching the Chicago Bears. You start looking at when Aaron Rodgers fell to Green Bay. You know where he could have gone? Mike Tice, Minnesota. Or Mike Nolan, who wore a suit on the sidelines for San Francisco. Would that have been better? So I think with the current NIL model, the fact that your dad's Deion Sanders, you're making 7 figures in college, play the long game. I would rather go down 10 draft picks, 12 draft picks to a better franchise.
Okay. Well, this is weird because Colin rips the Pittsburgh Steelers for not understanding offenses and Mike Tomlin being dated and, this and that. And they went out and got, why did they go out and pay DK Metcalf? And now they have multiple diva wide receiver, so I'm kind of confused by that. A lot of people believe in Kevin Stefanski as a great offensive coach. So I'm a little confused by that. It is going to be interesting. Obviously, Shedeur is the most interesting. Where he's going to go, where he's going to be drafted is really the most interesting thing. I'm going to be live streaming the NFL draft, so definitely please come and check that out. We'll all try to figure out where everyone's going to go drafting, where everyone's going to be drafted. But I find myself in this moment, since obviously it's draft day, like I see this right now. Steelers now favorites to draft Shedeur. And I'm kind of just like, man, predictions at this point mean absolutely nothing to me. Seriously, it means absolutely, positively nothing to me right now. Because it's just like, what are we doing here? Like literally just yesterday, I think the Giants were still favored to draft Shedeur. And now, like, not, essentially 24 hours later, not even, because when I did the first things first, so like less than 24 hours, it's now the Pittsburgh Steelers are predicted to draft him. And it's just like, we're so all over the place. I can't keep up. It's all just a bunch of nonsense to me. It is going to be fascinating to see where he does get drafted to. But, will he be the perfect fit in Pittsburgh? I've already kind of talked about the pros and cons of him going to Pittsburgh, and so I don't want to kind of keep rehashing that again and again and again and again and again. To me, it's more now kind of just interesting. Where will he be drafted, and why is he now slipping when before it was just like, oh, will the Browns draft him? Will the Giants draft him? No, maybe the Saints are interested in drafting him. It was like everybody was going through all these. No, the Giants are so interested in Shedeur that they're going to potentially get Travis Hunter and then trade back up into the draft and get Shedeur. And now it's just kind of like, not a lot of people are interested in Shedeur. And it's like, well, where did that come from? Because for the last 4 weeks or so, everybody was juicing him up as being this hotshot top prospect. And any pushback on that was, they were saying, oh, it's because of Deion, or because they're afraid that, a head coach could lose their job because then Deion will coach, or Nick Wright tried to make it about, a physical appearance thing, and, and it got all twisted and this and that. and now he's dropping, reportedly dropping, and it's like, okay, why? What has changed? His private workouts, he just suddenly forgot how to throw a football? Or in his private workouts, how he talked to the coaching staff and ownership and whatnot, like he just, didn't respect them. Like I said, what did he do? He put his feet up and opened up a bag of chips and was just munching on them and eating a hot dog and was like, yeah, draft me, bro. I'll help your franchise. So it's just like, what? Like, we're just so all over the place, which is why, like, today I'm just not gonna make videos about kind of like anything definitive of like, this is what's gonna happen to Shedeur, or Shedeur would be great with the Pittsburgh Steelers, because it's like at this point I have no desire to make a video all about how he would be an awesome fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers, only for him to now get drafted by like the New Orleans Saints or something, or whatever. I'm just not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm just not. We're so, and I get it, right? Like, these shows, media, you got to make content leading into the draft. But so like, this is my version of that, kind of like, hey, let's just kind of like talk about it, I guess. But like, yeah, because it's just so funny, because Colin just said here, that this is such a weak draft, and that's been the story of this draft, right? Is that it's pretty much universally seen as like one of the weakest drafts. And I saw another clip of Colin. I didn't make a video about it yet, but he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and that they should trade Micah Parsons. They get another first round pick, and then they'll also get like a second round pick, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, and he's like, and they can trade back, they can get all these extra picks. And it's like, why do you want all these picks then in like a weak draft then? Like, what are you gonna do then? Like, if this was a great draft, then I could understand that. But then you're going to get a ton of picks in a weak draft. Then you're going to draft a bunch of kind of like, I don't want to say average players, but, an increased chance of many not great players, or an increased chance of them being good rather than great. And it's like, that's what you're going to do then. So it's just like, I don't know. This draft's been a mess. I actually kind of have a little bit of angst of live streaming it, because it's just like, I won't even have strong thoughts. Like, I'm interested to see, is it Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter? Where does Shedeur get drafted? Like, those are really the biggest things to me. And that might get knocked out within the first like half hour of the draft. Once we get to like 8, and it's going to be interesting, like Ashton Genty and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know. If you get this offensive tackle or that offensive tackle, you get that defensive end or this defensive, maybe this tight end. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's all just going to be kind of like, yeah, no, I guess that was a good move. Like, is there really going to be like major shocks in this draft? Oh, wow, the Baltimore Ravens, that's who they drafted. Oh my God. Like, just not good. Oh my God, the Kansas City Chiefs, they drafted a lineman. Oh man, here we go. Chiefs are back to the Super Bowl. Like, Eagles, oh man, they got a tight end. Whoa. So it's just like, I don't know. It's gonna be kind of basic, and I just feel like, every draft pick you're gonna make, yeah, no, they needed to boost up their secondary, and yeah, they got a nice little player there. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, well, yeah, so and so they needed a safety, so drafting him, makes sense. Like, I feel like that's every take that I'm gonna have. I'm like, yeah, no, I think that was pretty good. I did think that they were gonna go offensive, but so they did go defensive, and I guess that makes sense. I can see why they did that. And then in the second round, they're probably gonna go blank. Like, it just, I don't know. It just feels like this is going to be incredibly generic, quite frankly, which is why we're still kind of just talking about Shedeur Sanders every single day, because he's the only interesting personality in this draft that kind of matters at this point. And it's kind of like, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? And it would actually be bad for the NFL draft for him to go in the top, because the longer he pushes, now more and more people are going to watch to be like, oh my God, are the Saints going to get him? Because before it was the Browns. No, it wasn't the Browns. Now it's the Giants. No, it's not the Giants. Now it's the Raiders. Well, yeah, they just got Geno Smith. Doesn't matter. They could still be getting for the future. Could be the Raiders. Nope. Now it's the Saints. Now it's the Steelers. Oh, I hear the Rams are actually kind of interested in him. They need a quarterback to move on from Stafford one day, and it's just like so all over the place. And who can keep up? But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Shedeur Sanders dropping in the NFL draft. Curious why you guys think that potentially is. Do you think it actually is happening? You can answer the question too. Do you think he'll be a perfect fit for Pittsburgh? Why would he be a perfect fit in Pittsburgh? But also, people believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are bad offensively and can't get the offense right at all under Mike Tomlin, but now he will with Shedeur Sanders. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.